Hello everyone, doing something a little bit different today again, dueling a friend today. I've been kind of starved of really good people to duel, so I decided to get one myself. Now, this is the Tsunami, as his name suggests. He has his own Yu-Gi-Oh forums, which I will post a link in the description if you want to check it out. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but he posts replays, he has lots of different sections and topics if you feel like checking it out and, I guess, joining a tiny community. Anyways, he's using a pretty interesting deck, which you're going to end up seeing in the description. It's also a deceptively good deck. I have a lot of trouble beating it sometimes. If you saw what kind of deck it was, it might be a little iffy of how can that possibly be good, but anyways, you'll find out. So I'm starting out with two of my face downs. I don't want this to destroy Strato by battle, so if I have to, I'll lance his Hunter Dragon, and he won't be able to get over it. But another quick note, we know each other's moves inside and out, so like right now, how he Dark Hold, that might seem sort of odd, because why would you use a Dark Hold to go 1 for 2, but when he sees I have a face down, he knows it's something dangerous and he doesn't want to have to deal with it, so he was actually smart to do that. He knows exactly what to do. If any of his moves actually seem random, they're not. He's carefully planning, or at least getting lucky, as he sometimes claims. Let's see, this is 800 attack. Let's see, I could summon this and go for the attack. Although he's running... We have similar styles. Now, we both like running lots of back row because back row wins games. Yeah, he already did what he wanted to do. Then again, I have a lance. I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna... Actually, let's see if I can bait out anything on the attack, and then I won't have to MST right away. He's a joker. Alright, so on the attack, I'll MST and destroy his Hunter Dragon. So now I can get over this. Cyberducks are actually... They're pretty good. Okay, yeah, there's the point where 800. Yeah, I'm gonna lance this because I'm just gonna get out another Nizamu, and then I'll be able to get over it with that. It's such a random effect that his monster does 300 when you destroy something by battle. Okay. All right. Usually he doesn't have more than one attack type card like that unless he's... If he only sets 2 cards, chances are they won't be stuff that negates attacks or destroys on the attack. It'll be a lot of... It'll destroy you on the summon. But already, as you can see, he has me at a slight disadvantage because of life points. So this should be a nice change of pace compared to the not bad decks I've been playing, but not horribly challenging decks that don't really meet this one's standards. This deck clearly does. Okay, and I'm ready for some synchro plays. Now, his face down, it could either be the Koichi, which is probably what it is, or Morphing Jar. I'm going to say that it's a Dekoichi though, but I'm going to be using most of my resources either way. Let's see, definitely be going with the Stardust, but I'm going to go with the Burrito first so I can get out the other tuner. It is kind of difficult to predict what he's using though. Both of us, we use tons of different back row. We both use Fiendish Chains, Bottomless. He actually has Sakuretsu Armors in here, which not a whole lot of people use. Ah, just like that, yeah. See, he knows when to use his cards. What was it? Was it Dekoichi? Yeah, it was a Dekoichi. Alright, sadly, no more synchros this turn. But I'm back at card advantage at least. Huh. I would have liked to keep that. This is kind of like a Zane deck, which makes it even more impressive that it works. Because he does have Cyber Dragons, he does have Cyber Darks, he has Power Bonds and stuff. Oh, he has another MST. He's also pretty smart with when to use these. I'm kind of hoping he draws into a Morphing Jar. He doesn't usually wait to use those. Oh, well, I kind of agree that he did the right move. I mean, he made me waste resources. I'm only running one of those, he knows that, so... At least I think he knows that. So, torrentialing when he did, I think, was the best option. I'm not drawing monsters, not good. But I don't always win against him. Like, this is a very good deck that he's running. It's very deceptively good. Lucky as shit, that's part of the game. Alright, so it looks like he's gonna have game 1. I didn't even open up that badly, although not drawing into other monsters surely didn't help very much. Okay, so let's see what I go into game 2. I'm also not running a side deck, whereas he is, although nothing he's running really counters my deck. So I don't even think he's gonna side anything. Looks like he's not. Opening up with Strato again, but sadly not opening with any tuners. I got the Chimera though, so if I can go into Beast or Goblin, I can start making some scrap plays. He thinks this is a Suzamu because yeah, I don't want him to attack it. I'll let him think it's a Nizamu because when you have a Cyber Dragon, you destroy a Nizamu, and I pull any other Karakuris, he then can go with, what is it, the Fortress Dragon, Chimera Attack, whatever it's called, and then he goes 0 for 1 at basically the price of 100 attack points. So now I'm going to start poking with Strato. I don't need this card on the field, so even if he does something like D-Prison, he knows that that card is big trouble, so... Okay, that was a good play by him. I can't afford to set these as bluffs. Okay, this is already a bluff. I'm not going to bluff for a bluff. But I do need to start drawing other monsters. It's kind of annoying when this happens. We've had a duel where it took, I think, 14 draws before I got my third monster, which is absolutely insane. And sadly for him, he doesn't have a Hunter Dragon in his grave, but he also plays, as you saw before, he plays Black Salvo, so he just wants to set up right now. And lucky for me, I drew Scrapyard, so I can start going into... I can get Beast, and then I can start going into Chimera plays. It won't be a loop, but to the very least, it'll give me something for field presence. Now, I can protect with Lance or Scrapstorm, but I'm going to be going with Scrapstorm if he does anything. I haven't taken too much damage yet, so I'm not worried. Let's see if he has anything, though. If I could bait something out, that'd be cool. Yeah, there's one of the Sakus I mentioned. Yeah, if I did that, it would just be suicide. No reason to do that. And Scrapstorm, it's so great for baiting out cards. Lance is 1 for 1. Oh, what am I thinking? I can send Goblin to the grave, and okay, now I do have the loop. So I'll be adding it back. I do need to get this back to the grave. So that's not necessarily a good thing, but I do have the loop now, at least in my hand. So let's see what he is planning on doing. Yeah, he runs some pretty weird cards. It's pretty surprising how often this helps for several different reasons. Like right now, he just starved my grave because he knows I'm running Chimera. He knows I like to do that combo. So not a bad move on his part by doing that. Although it is a kind of costly card. 1,500 life points is significant, but it does make for some interesting plays, especially now that Reborn is gone. It still lets you get stuff from your opponent's grave. Oh, and he just recently started using Colossal Fighter. It's a pretty decent card to go for. This is weird. I think I'm lagging a little bit. Hopefully this isn't too bad. But when he can basically just run into my synchros that have 2800 attack. I do have Scrap Dragon and then the Karakuri one. And when Colossal Fighter destroys something by battle, including itself, it just brings itself back. So it's a pretty good card to counter with. This is weird. Why am I lagging? This has never happened before. Okay, so he did put my monster back though, so I'm gonna be going into Scrap Dragon. I very much need to right now. And I'm not sure which spell I'm gonna pop. Probably Iron Call because I have 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the Scrap Dragon. I'll be destroying this with a card effect, so I won't be coming back. And then I can just run over Archfiend because I have 100 more attack. Awesome. And I'm not gonna set the other one. I want to pop this because he knows it's nothing. So I want to set the other. Well, I can set the other one. He might think, oh no, that one actually is a trap. We play a lot of mind games with each other, which at that point where we know each other's moves so well that we have to actually outthink the other now, and it's pretty confusing. Okay, so he had advantage, hugely, but now I have card advantage, I have field advantage, and if I can survive for a turn, I can then go for game. Because I have Iron Call. No, I don't. I can summon Recycler and then send a Size into the grave, and then make a tuner. And that'll let me go for game, pretty much regardless of what he summons. Like I said, he's using Cyber Dragon plus the fusion that it contact fuses with other machines on the field. Luckily, Scrap Dragon it's a dragon, so he can't do that with it. So it's a pretty invaluable card right now. And the question is, what do I want to destroy? Okay, I might actually not be able to go for game right now, but do I have one in my grave? No, I don't. I'm actually going to go with Scrap Goblin and pop his monster because I have Lance, so I don't really care what that is. And then this will let me get my loot back. So not going for game this turn. Once I have this much of an advantage, I can usually win. So I can be sort of cautious and it won't be a big deal. Whereas I have Tsunami against the ropes right now, so he probably won't be coming back from this. I think this game is mine. He would have to do something. Let's see, I don't even know what he can do. He's kind of out of options. Okay, so he does have Saku. So I'm gonna lance that. I want this to go through because as long as I can do some decent damage this turn, I can hopefully win next turn. As long as I don't have to waste my Iron Call. Okay, so as long as he doesn't top deck a Dark Hole or something like that. Oh, even if he gets a Dark Hole, yeah, there's a Scrap Dragon. If this had been any of my Karakuri synchros, he would have me right now. Okay, so he's gonna get over Scrap Dragon, although that's not really gonna do him much good because I have Chimera in hand, so I can just make another. I'm basically manually doing the Scrap Dragon loop right now. I kind of enjoy doing this when it's a controlled loop compared to I need my opponent to attack into it. And there's another scrap piece. Okay, I have game this turn, cool. So let's make another Scrap Dragon since I have Beast still in the grave. Then all I have to do is I sync for Scrap Dragon. I get to pop a Goblin again, which gives me back Chimera again, and that's how the loop works. Okay, so that Book of Moon was basically just saying, I'm going to use what I have, just because why not? Yeah, so I like to use Goblin's effect. Okay, so even though I have game, if I needed to, I could do this again. Alright, let's find out what Game 3 is going to bring. We can go pretty back and forth and butt heads. It's really hard to predict what kind of a duel we're going to have. Occasionally we'll OTK each other. Sometimes we'll both get terrible hands and the duel will just last for an eternity. Other times it'll be like that where... I guess that was a head-to-head one, yeah. So those are the three kinds. You never know which one's going to be. It doesn't really rely on whether either of us go first or second. It can be... It's always random regardless. So he got one of those weird hands that I mentioned where it's just all spells and traps. And see, unfortunately for him, I got a pretty decent hand. I could blind MST right now, but I'm not going to since I have the lance. I want to bait something out, and then I'll use it. Ooh. Yes, I'm gonna discard the MST. So I'm definitely not gonna blind MST now. I'm gonna have to be careful about that. Again, he uses really random tech cards, and they work wonders. He puts them in there for a reason. They're pretty interesting. Okay, so I have an MST plus a Lance, so I'm gonna get rid of 2 more of his back row at least. I would even be okay with him using double to get rid of this, like, I attack, he tries to D-prison, I Lance, and then he uses another one or something, that would be fine. Looks like he's not going to. Okay, usually, that must mean he doesn't have anything to banish this. I don't think he wants to waste anything on it otherwise. And I'm going to go ahead and set all 3. Just because if he's using any MST, he'll be kind of wary of doing a blind MST just like me. It's not necessarily a good thing to use MST on when your opponent has tons of back row unless you're going for game and you just want to maximize your chances of it working. So let's see if he ever draws into a monster. Okay, he did. Good chance it's the Koichi. If it was anything else, he probably would have summoned it and gone for the attack, but it also could be a Cyber Dragon. Oh, great. I also drew a Scrap Storm, so this is going to go through pretty much regardless, but just in case it ends up being a Morphing Jar, which he does run, I want my cards on the field. I don't want to lose them, because it's fine. They're all meant for the field anyways, quick plays and then a tuner, or another tuner. So if I can draw into something that I can sync with, it'll let me go off since I already have the other tuner right next to it. Okay, there's the card he has. I'm going to Lance this one, and then I'll save Scrap Storm for later. I could have just kept this in my hand and used it, but at the same time, it wasn't really of that much importance. I just want to get rid of whatever he has or see what it is. Okay, it was just a Hunter Dragon. They have, as you can see, 100 defense, so okay, even with a Lance, I can get over it. So now he's wanting to draw into a Cyber Dragon, because when you summon a Cyber Dragon and you equip Hunter Dragon to it, it becomes a 2500 beat stick. That's pretty good for just summoning a random level 4 and having it have 2500 with no drawback effects. Okay, he's going for Cyber Dragon. I have to be careful about this one. I don't have anything to remove it on the attack. And he uses this a lot to... another random tech card. Frostmark is extremely random in this deck, but it does so much work. Okay, luckily for me, all of these are chainable. All of them help in this situation. So, even if he has an MST to negate this, I'll just chain my Scrap Storm. Okay, what he's doing by sending this back to his hand, it means the effect will still resolve. So I'm just going to chain the other one that he chose, and I get to draw a card and set up my grave with it. I'm going to go for Scrap Chimera. Call the Haunted. Ah, he still gets to attack. I'm going to let the Call the Haunted go through for now, and then I'll destroy it in the last minute, just in case he tries to MST my MST or something. It's always good to wait. You never know what your opponent has left. Look at that, I drew another MST. So that's all 3 of them already. I got kind of lucky with that. And then I get to add Chimera back, and I am set up to go into some Scrap Dragons. No, not using my MST yet. And I don't want him to destroy this. I kind of need my tuners right now. But at the same time... do I want to? Yeah, I'm going to keep it. Alternatively, I could let him destroy it, and then when I make Scrap Dragon, I can use its effect to target his face down, and then target my own MST, chain MST, to destroy his spell or trap, but then I could also use Scrap Dragon's effect to destroy Cyber Dragon. Now, I'm weary about what this is. I'm just going to hit it instead of using... Actually, I wouldn't be using Cyber Dragon's effect anyways. Yeah, it was... Okay, rightfully so. It was a good idea to do that, since it was a solemn warning. I also drew into Nizamu, so I can go into more Synchros next turn, assuming that this thing survives. And I am not going to put this into attack mode. I don't want him to see what it is. It's not enough attack to really make a difference, and if he draws another Cyber Dragon, he'd be able to get rid of it. So instead of... Yeah, he'd be able to get rid of it. I'd rather him not do that. Even though it wouldn't really be a big deal. Alright, he drew another Hunter Dragon. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't do this. Now he's going to attack into it. He'll take 100. Ugh. And yeah, it's time to finish it, because now I get to go into another Synchro. Doesn't even matter what I make at this point. He's not running hand traps or anything. Not that that would help. I'm just going to make Stardust. And Stardust is one of my favorite cards in this deck, protecting everything that I hold sacred. Alright, looks like that is the match, proving that this deck is not invincible. There are decks that can win out there, such as this one. And if you enjoyed this duel, please counter it, subscribe, and stay brutal.